Good day everyone, I am Javier Manatan Salmon and together with my partner Ms. Jane Kenneth Fabrio will be discussing the ICT policies and issues. According to Oxford English Dictionary, they define policy as a source of action adopted and pursued by the government party, ruler, statesman, which means that its operational definition of policy is a plan of action adopted to guide decisions and achieve outcomes. Next, we have the new ICT. And recent technology invention increased by the span and speed communication, which can be grouped into three categories. The following are information technology. It includes the use of computers. These allow the process of data, save time and effort. Moreover, this information technology focus on computer literacy. Next, the telecommunication technologies. Telephone with fax and broadcasting radio and television are included through satellites function. Next is we have the networking technology, best known as the internet. However, it extended to mobile phone technology. Moreover, this category involved definitely mobile phone and cables, has also to do with the use of our satellites. Next, we have an ICT which are applicable to learning and teaching or ICT program. First, we have the ICT Education Master Plan for all year level, including the National Roadmap for the Faculty Development in ICT Education. Example for this is already implemented. The National Framework Plan for ICT Education is developed. And second, we have the Content Application Development through the Open Content Education Initiative or the OCEI, which means to convert DepEd materials into interactive multimedia content development used in school, conduct students and teachers to promote educational related Web 2 development. Next, we have the FeedNet. This is a walled garden that hosts educational learning and teaching material, an application that uses Filipino students and as well for the parents and teachers. This means that all public schools will be part of this network with only DepEd approved on multimedia application. Material and mirror sites only accessible from school PC. Next, we have the Establishment Community E-Learning Center or the Eskwela for out-of-school youth. This will provide them with ICT-enhanced alternative education and opportunities. With the Equality Program for Tertiary Education through partnership with states, university, and colleges are such. This program improves quality IT education and the use of ICT education in the country. That focus on the program is particularly outside Metro Manila. And next up, we have the Digital Media Arts Program, which builds digital media skills for government using open source technology. It means that the beneficiary of this particular agency is include the Philippine Information Agency and the Government Media Information and other media organizations such as Cultural Center of the Philippines, National Commission for Culture and Arts, and other government agencies, state universities, and college and local government units. Last but not the least is the ICT Strategic Plan. This means that in which develop interagency approach to identify strategic and policy and program recommendation to address ICT skills demand supply type. And next up, Ms. Jane Kenneth Fabrio will be discussed with further discussion.
What specific internet-related issues do you know about that relate to civil liberties or human rights? If none, don't worry. I'm here to talk about the issues on ICT and internet policy and regulations. But first, let me give you a brief introduction to who I am. I am Jane Kenneth P. Fabrio. Good day to everyone. Without further ado, let's now examine the issues on ICT and internet policy and regulations. Issue number 1. Freedom of expression and censorship. In a democracy, the right to freedom of expression belongs to every person. It refers to the freedom to use and access information without interference from censorship or other legal restrictions in the context of the Internet and ICT. Despite the Internet's existence for many years, it has recently experienced exponential expansion. However, Just like with any new technology, there are always worries about how it might be used to disseminate false information or propaganda. These worries must be addressed for the internet to keep developing and growing constructively. Governments have made numerous attempts in the past to control online expression. In recent years, other nations, notably China and Iran, have experienced it. There is a lot of discussion surrounding the topic of free speech on the internet. According to some, censorship is essential since too much of freedom could result in issues like hate speech or cyberbullying. Others argue that censorship can prevent people from freely expressing themselves online because they aren't permitted to speak what they truly think and or feel. Consequently, the questions of whether or not censorship is moral arises. Is it proper for governments to have control over what citizens can say? Do we need to let them in, or should we eliminate all restrictions from our system altogether to negate their influence over us? What do you think? Next, issue number two, privacy and security. Privacy issues are some of the most important issues that relate to ICT policy. The internet has been used by people to communicate with each other and share information, but it has also been used to spread illegal content such as pornography or terrorism. In this situation, a government may have to create regulations on how the internet should be used, who can use it, and what kind of content can be distributed online. Security concerns are another major issue in ICT policy. The internet is an open network that allows anyone accesses to its services and content, which means that anyone can access your personal data if they have access to the internet server where it is stored, such as your email account. To prevent this from happening, governments have created laws that require citizens to protect their personal information when using digital devices such as computers and smartphones. Next, issue number three, surveillance and data retention. The use of electronic communication has enhanced the development of indirect surveillance. In indirect surveillance, there is no direct contact between the agent and the subject of surveillance, but evidence of activities can be traced. The new and powerful form of indirect surveillance is data valence. Data valence is the use of personal information to monitor or persons' activities, while data retention is the storage and use of information from communication systems. There is very little that can be done to prevent surveillance. What can be done is to change the method of working to make surveillance difficult. This is called counter surveillance or information security, if it refers to computers and electronic communication. Lastly, we have issue number four, e-pollutants from e-waste. Due to the numerous hazardous compounds it contains that can be hazardous to both human health and the environment. E-waste is currently one of the biggest problems in the world. Computers, phones, and other electronic gadgets are some of the most typical causes of e-waste. It is crucial that we properly dispose of these things to prevent them from contaminating our air and water supplies when they are dumped or burned. Recycling outdated devices rather than throwing them in the trash are one strategy to cut down on the quantity of e-waste produced. For developing nations, e-waste raises economic issues in addition to environmental and public health risks, as appropriate garbage disposal is frequently too expensive for poor nations. Many nations turn to recycling facilities that offer cheap, secondhand electronics. Hundreds of millions of dollars are lost as a result of poor handling each year. Thank you so much for listening to us today. I hope you got some great ideas from our talk and that you'll be thinking about them as you plan your career. One of the things I want to stress is that if you're interested in ICT policy, it is worth learning about the issues that relate to the policies. These are important because they can help you understand what's happening in the world around us and how we could make a difference. Of course, this is not just relevant for teachers, it is also relevant for everyone who works with technology. To end this talk, I'd like to remind you of the importance of knowing the ICT policies, especially for us upcoming future teachers. Knowledge is power, and if you don't know your ICT policies, you could be in a world of trouble.